When the Erie School Board meets on Wednesday, they'll be considering a budget that calls for a significant school tax increase for city property owners.
The superintendent of Erie Public Schools, Dr. Brian Polito, says it's not just to fund next year's budget, but to keep funding support programs started with COVID relief funding. Erie News Now, Lisa Adams is here with us in the studio. Lisa, you sat down with the superintendent today to find out why the district needs a tax hike after receiving millions in COVID relief funds.
Good question, Eva. All told, Erie's public schools received about $100 million in COVID rescue funds, some used for one-time expenses like those ventilation improvements in schools and Chromebooks, but it's to help the programs that are about academics the district hopes to keep through a tax hike when the COVID funding is gone. School Superintendent Brian Polito has been crunching the numbers. He's proposing a $250 million budget for next school year and nearly a $4.5 million tax hike he says will build capacity to support students after COVID funds are spent. Things like keeping more teachers to reduce elementary class size, mental health counselors in each school, and beefed up summer and after-school programs.
We want to start to have this conversation now. And work to find that balance between what the taxpayers are comfortable with a tax increase and what we feel we need to support our students properly.
Although a battle for state funds brought Erie $14 million more a year, there was never a promise of no tax hikes.
In order to balance the budget, we still need to continue to have cost of living tax increases every year.
The proposed tax hike would mean about $80 more a year on a home assessed at about $100,000. Brian Polito, though, says that will be offset for homeowners who take advantage of the homestead exemption covered by Pennsylvania gaming revenue.
They designed this act, the Homestead Farmstead Act, in order to give relief back to the taxpayers for allowing the gambling and racing to come to Pennsylvania. Every school bill comes out has that on it. That way you know what your taxes for the school district have been reduced due to gaming revenue.
Polito is optimistic his tax hike may be lower if higher state subsidies come through. So Pennsylvania gaming revenue, interestingly, is up this year. Polito points out that's because of online gaming and sports betting. So he says that $79 more a year in property tax on the average home will be more than offset by $89 in homestead exemption. So in his reasoning, you're $10 ahead. We'll see what the school board members think about that when they meet on Wednesday. Live in the studio, Lisa Adams, Erie News Now.